The views and opinions expressed on any program are those of the producers and/or the persons appearing on the program, and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of FRC Media, Bristol Community College, or the City of Fall River.
Well, hello. Welcome to Spindle City Straight Talk. I'm Chip.
And I'm CJ.
And it is Wednesday in the Riv, hump day, and it's time for Staff Fleet Commander COVID.
Commander COVID. And remember, there's a parking ban in effect at 3 o'clock today.
3 o'clock today, that's right. And they're going to be out looking to tag you. And
tow. They made that clear in the press announcement.
Remember, we need all the money we can get.
That's right. Okay, here are the numbers. Total cases, 286,866. New cases is 3,720. New total deaths is 11,443. New deaths is 55. Bristol County is 26,890. Fall River's numbers. We had 58 new cases yesterday, which brought us to a total of 6,359. We also had another 4 fatalities, resulting in a total of 202. So we're climbing. So remember, wear your mask, wash your hands, and social distance, people.
Yes,
we need it.
Absolutely. We certainly do. And remember, don't pay attention to half of what they're telling you. Just do what CJ just said. Keep your distance. Wash your hands. That's the key. You know, I mean, especially the vaccine is now beginning to be dispensed, and I guess it's going to be like late February before that's going to go to the general population. So we've got that kind of thing going, but you know, we'll see what happens. So
and if you remember correctly, we broke it here on Spindle City Straight Talk first that Bell's palsy is now one of the known side effects of this medication, and the CDC just sent out a notice. They just sent it out, saying that all patients receiving the vaccine should be monitored for Bell's palsy within the first couple of weeks of taking the vaccine. So again, we're going to be facing these things. The other thing is, this was out of England. We spoke about it at the last show. Out of England, they're monitoring people for deaths in long-term care facilities, seniors, after taking the vaccine. And today, early this morning, I was watching the news, and the CDC was talking about the fact that this vaccine may not stop the spread, may not prevent you from getting the disease. In other words, it's like the flu vaccine. It won't stop the spread of the flu. It won't stop you getting the disease, but it will be a milder form of the virus. So again, we're right back to where we were before. This is ridiculous. I'm going nuts.
Yeah. And I heard also this morning, since we were talking about it, I heard another vaccine has been pre-approved. It's been approved now, and it'll be coming out shortly. I forgot which one it was, but
Moderna.
Yeah, this is 94% effective or something like that. But then again, effective for what? Making a milder form or whatever. But hey, you know, the problems are getting really, really bad. They're shutting down things. And I was watching yesterday. They said South Dakota, North Dakota, and Iowa have basically flattened completely, and they didn't shut down anything.
Right.
So those, you know, this is total chaos that we have here. Nobody knows what the hell they're doing. But I know what they are doing. They're succeeding in destroying our economy. I mean, especially in New York, there were demonstrations this morning from, restaurants and stuff that are getting, I guess they're losing 90% of their restaurants in New York. Of course, de Blasio's an imbecile, but that's, and then Emmy Award winning governor, they don't care about anybody because they're millionaires. So they don't care how many small businesses. It may be the conspiracy theory so we can send everything to China because it looks like we're back to being pro-China. But let's get to let's talk about a few things that were really, to me, they were really, really revealing again. One was what you and I both saw, the plea of Gen Andrade, but we were watching intently. And I did, and you and I both, we had a little conversation at the end of that, and we were talking about something that came out during that hearing, that the taxpayers paid to have the water connected at a site that bribed Jasiel. They gave him a bribe. And the construction company who did the water hookup said, well, we always collect from the person who owns the building. We thought it was kind of odd that the city did it for him because he gave allegedly, I have to put allegedly, I guess, although they are going to testify in court under oath, and they've already testified to that, attested to that fact, that we paid for the hookup.
Not only that,
taxpayer getting screwed again.
Yeah, but not only that, the gentleman who had the hookup done to his building allegedly paid Jasiel $7,500, and in turn, the city paid for that gentleman's water hookup. So basically, what happened was taxpayer dollars were used to bribe Jasiel. Allegedly.
That's what I said. He did take a bribe, and with the bribe, he gave him a free hookup for the compliments of the taxpayers of the city of Fall River. But then again, this is the MO of our government. They don't care how much money they spend of our money. They just keep jacking our taxes up and giving all their rich friends tax breaks and freebies.
Well, I had a conversation with the city councilor, and I spoke about this, and I said, this may be the top of the barrel. We may need to dig deeper and find out what's going on. And I said, do you not believe that it would be beneficial for the city to run a forensic audit just on the transactions that Jasiel was privy to or part of? And I think that is a big case. I mean, that's something major that he should, because of his alleged bribes and alleged actions, I believe that the city should have a forensic audit on all the activity, all the actions, all the orders that Jasiel had to do with. And as a matter of fact, if you remember in court, when they were bringing up the charges, they said that Fall River is the recipient of billions of dollars from HUD. Not millions, billions.
You're right, CJ. But I think there should be a criminal investigation and a full investigation, and the council should demand it. And this is why we've been screaming for forensic audits for years, because that's a criminal act. It's malfeasance on the tax. Now, who was in charge of DCM? Who was in charge? Who allowed the city to perform construction for a private entity. That they weren't doing that at a public property. They were doing it at a private property, and nobody questioned it. So who was in charge? How many times has this happened? I mean, how many times are we going to get the royal screwing before somebody stands up and says something? That's why we need a whole bunch of new people running for city council. We've got one or two of them who are doing their job and asking the questions. But for the most part, okay, first of all, we know that the auditor's office should have been investigated because we know there were highly connected people, the biggest of whom was Kathy Ann Viveris, who was skating on their taxes. And whatever happened with that? Nothing. 22 windows. Nothing. Doing construction jobs for private entities. Nothing. Is everybody going to sit in their homes and let them give out tips, shift the tax burden to you, decrease the businesses, the rich businesses, tax liability while they increase yours, add a bump for the school, and just completely urinate your tax dollars into a bottomless pit, and you're going to leave them in office? There is no accountability. They never go to jail no matter what they do. If you and I did it, we'd be doing time. Unless we're in New York, they're letting everybody out. But yeah, de Blasio's letting all the criminals out. And over in LA now, the guy's going to let out pedophiles, rapists, murderers, because that's what he likes to do. But the fact is that we have got this city is like the corruption capital of the world. Just look at what came out in that trial. And now we're going to use CPA money. Segue. I'm segueing over. We'll mix them because it's the same thing. Abuse of taxpayer money. Now we want to use CPA money to buy a farm. We're going to buy a farm. Old McDonald's farm. We're going to buy a farm. What did we buy the last time? They wanted to buy a lot somewhere or a building or something. That's not what the CPA was passed for. That's why right after the new year, we have to begin to repeal the CPA, and we have to begin to get rid of the charter, repeal the CPA, and talk about an underride, because this city cannot control its spending. There's never an attempt. All they know how to do is increase your taxes. And if you're going to stand idly by and allow that, shame on you.
It gets to be ridiculous. Now, where this farm story came in from, the City Council Committee on Economic Development and Tourism had a presentation made by the Bioreserve Group. And it was one of the foresters from the Bioreserve. And they went over everything that they have, the Copacabana Reservoir and whatnot. And they want to buy this farm to convert it into an educational facility to explore and develop projects for the bioreserve. And that purchase of land you were talking about with CPA money, that was done in the bioreserve as well. They purchased the land because they wanted to make it open space. And I thought it was funny because they used CPA money to buy that piece of land, but that money went directly into the city's coffers because the city put a tax bill on it that hadn't been paid. So the CPA money paid the taxes. So the taxes.
It was a scam.
It was a
scam.
It was a paper scam.
Like it is. And I know who that smacks of. Robbing money from the healthcare fund, robbing money from the CPA, and plugging it into the budget. No, we don't need a forensic audit. Bring your friend down to tell the city council that our budget's wonderful. Yeah, forget about the forensic audit. Don't do that, because they're all going to go to jail in handcuffs. Because this is ridiculous. I mean, this is just I mean, there's just no end to how they manipulate money. It ends up in a city coffers, even though the law says that's not the way it's supposed to happen. So they sat down in a room and planned that. How can we get money, infuse money into our budget? Oh, well, we'll just say we're going to buy some. Look, we're not supposed to be buying things. We got to buy a reserve. How much tourism has the bioreserve brought into Fall River? We've talked about tourism look, if they want to buy something, let them go get a grant from the state or the feds. You're going to take my tax dollars. What does CPA stand for? Community Preservation Act.
Yes.
And what did they sell that bullshit to us on? Oh, we're going to take care of all the Victorian houses down in the Highlands, and we're going to keep the Victorian nature of the city, and it's going to be so wonderful because everybody's going to get we're going to preserve this wonderful, wonderful city where people were chained to sewing machines for 15 hours a day. Yeah, let's preserve it. And you preserved crap. You gave air conditioners to one of the richest damn people in this area, spouse, because he was well connected. You paid for a roof twice that we still don't know if it was done at the Armory, and now you're going to sell it, and somebody's going to make a profit. If bullshit was bricks, this city has got enough bricks to build a chimney to the moon and have bricks left over.
I'll tell you, it never ends in this city.
No,
it never ends.
It's like this is like what was that soap opera? It's been on 50 some years. It's like this is like a soap opera. It just never ends. All we do is change the characters once in a while, and some of them even like the soap operas. Every once in a while, we bring somebody back from the dead.
As the stomach turns.
That's right, as the stomach turns. That should be Fall Rivers. They should make a soap opera about Fall River. But I mean, look, we're laughing, but this is criminal. This is criminal. I mean, we're in the, if not the poorest city in this state, one of the poorest, because we're always vying for that title. Look at our incomes. And look what they're doing. And just like on the federal government, look at our economy. Our economy is in the toilet, but all the big billionaires' profits have increased. 14% increase. All the billionaires are getting more billions. So you really think they have your best interest at heart? We may not be able to do anything on the federal level, but we can sure as hell do something on a local level. And we need to keep only the counselors who are asking the tough questions and taking a position to protect the taxpayer. Those are the only ones that have earned their seat again in the next election. Because this is nuts. I mean, we can go on forever about what they're doing. You think it's okay for them to quote one of our old city administrators, Bob Connors, this is like three-card Willie in the Fast Shuffle. The old find the peanut or find the ace of spades with the three-card shuffle. Yeah, exactly. And this is what they do. Oh, we're buying a piece of land. Oh, wait a minute. That land owes us taxes, so we're not buying anything. We're just using that to take money out of the CPA and divert it into the budget and not use it for anything that remotely resembles community preservation. Because I'd really like to see where that money went when they got it. Sure as hell didn't go into community preservation.
Well, what was interesting was the only reason why that came out was Sean Kadim made it very clear that they had to pass that so that money could go into the general fund. And right. You can watch that in the city council meeting that this issue was taken up on. And I spoke to the chairman of the CPC commission, and I told him that, and he says, no, it can't go that way. That was for open space. I said, that's where it went. And if you listen to the city councilor, he said it very clearly. We have to approve this because we need the money in the general fund. That's the way it was done. So don't say that it's not abused, because there's an abuse of that fund. That's why we need to get rid of it. And truly, that's why we need to get rid of it.
Listen, we don't need to preserve this community. We need to build this community, not preserve it. What are we preserving? Let's cut the BS. Okay, let's cut the BS. What are we preserving? I love it when they talk about the wonderful the Fall River. Fall River was virtually slave labor. I have it. Well, actually, I've got the book right here. Got the book right here. Here it is. The Untold Story. Labor's Untold Story. And it talks about Fall River in the 1800s. And I'm going to read it, amazingly enough.
No.
On October 18th, 1883, Thomas O'Donnell, a mule spinner at Fall River, testified before the Senate Committee on Labor Relations. I have a brother who has 4 children beside his wife and himself. All he earns is $1.50 a day. He works in the ironworks in Fall River. He only works about 9 months of the year. There's generally 3 months of stoppage, and his wife can't afford to go to the doctors. They don't have natural food. They're not naturally dressed. His children are often sick, and he doesn't have the money to call a doctor. O'Donnell was asked how he supported his family on wages of $133 a year. He said, I got a couple of dollars, and we go down and pick up coal around the railroad. And then we get clams. He said, we eat them. We can't sell them. And then they said, how many people live down there that live on $150 a year? He said, there are thousands that are living on less. There's your great history. People were abused. The working man was screwed royally in Fall River, has been since Fall River was created, and our great textile industry that they talked about. The only people that did anything in the textile industry were the Braytons and the Durfees and the Bordens, when they were sitting in their 3-deckers in the Highlands that they passed that CPA money for to keep up, while I was sitting there sipping tea, looking at the people living in the 3-deckers and having to buy their food from places they own. And they took the $150 a year that they gave those people. They took 3/4 of it back in rent and for their food. So they were fundamentally slaves.
I agree.
So let's not pretend Fall River was ever a good place for the working man, because it wasn't. You're full of crap. Okay? And there it is in print. 1883. It's 2020. That's a long time ago. And the working man's still getting bent over in this city by the government. And it's your damn turn to take it back next November.
That's for sure. That's definitely for sure. And we need to make sure that people are understanding that we have an issue with our politicians. We have an issue with our, the CPA. We have an issue with our CFO. We have an issue with our mayor. We have an issue with our school committee. All of these issues, and people are walking around like this. I can't see anything. Nope. Nothing's wrong. I can't see anything. And that's wrong. That is the wrong way to handle this. It is time to hold these people accountable. And when you consider the fact that the CPA has been used for private properties, private properties. Okay? People own them, so they're benefiting from your tax dollars. They're benefiting from your tax dollars. And it was obvious when the Karam development at Adams House applied for the CPA money, and they were denied it because they had already started construction. And it went before the city council, and the city council said, send this back. Actually, it was one. It was Sean Kadim who said, send this back to the CPC and have them reconsider giving them the money because that is a good project and we need it. No, it's not the taxpayers' job to fund private entities. And it's got to stop. It's got to stop.
Yeah, but you got to send it back, CJ. It's a rich guy. The rich guys are going to get richer. You know how that's the way it goes on all levels of government. Let's see what happens with Hunter Biden.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. So they can get rich. They never go to jail. Feinstein was driving around with a Chinese spy for how many years? Driving her around. The other one slept with a Chinese spy, but he's still on the intelligence committee. The whole damn country's falling apart. It's a joke. And I mean, anybody that thinks that they care about the people are crazy because they are a monarchy. There are no consequences for their action. If the FBI came into your house and you smashed all your computers and bleached everything and threw them out, they'd put you in jail. But
agreed.
Hillary Clinton didn't. Nothing happened to her. People lied under oath in front of the Congress. Remember what a guy said? And it was true. He said, if you lie to Congress, you're guilty of perjury and you're going to go to jail. If they lie to you, it's politics. And nothing happens to them. And that's the problem we have with the government. But as you said, you pointed it out numerous times. You pointed it out when Kadim said that. You've pointed it out a million times. But, you know, all we can do is shine a light on what they're doing. But until the people get up, get off their butts, and vote in only people that are going to work for the people, the regular person in Fall River, it's going to keep going. The rich are going to get richer, and you're going to get poorer.
And your taxes are going to keep going up.
That's right. That's right.
Well, we've got a couple of announcements we have to make, and we would be remiss. After all, the station is broadcasting our show regularly. Tonight, after our show, will be a modified North Pole Live for your children to call in and speak to Santa. Now, from my understanding, it's going to be kind of like a Zoom meeting, and they're going to handle it that way. So it should be an interesting time. They're going to be doing it out of the Chamber of Commerce building. And they'll be broadcasting for you to watch on TV, and your children can call in and speak with Santa. So please let them know that so your children can ask Santa for something. The other thing is on Saturday at 8 p.m. on the CW Providence, which is channel 813 on Comcast, channel 65 on DirecTV. I'm not sure what it is over the air. It's 64.2, I think. Is going to be having Christmas in Fall River with the incredible Sons of Serendip. So everyone needs to watch it because Fall River is going to be on TV being a wonderful thing. So hopefully, you know, some of this will take your mind off the snow. I hope Steve handles the snow very well, driving back and forth because he's got to go there. And the mayor has said, again, there is a parking ban, goes into effect at 3 o'clock until further notice. So keep checking on the Spindle City Straight Talk page and you'll know. I want to thank you all for watching. Please remember, stay safe, especially with the snow. Stay safe, stay angry, and wear a mask. It's important. Thanks for watching. We'll see you Friday.
Stay healthy, everybody.